From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On Trust News Hour tonight, National Executive Council of APC rules out consensus, pegs presidential nomination forms at 100 million naira. Two leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Bassa local government area of Plateau State, shot dead. Over 10,000 might go jobless as Kano State government considers shutting down motor park. On the foreign scene, Polish coal mine explosion kills 4, injures 21, and 7 others missing. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Ayinde Shuaga. The National Executive Council of the All Progressives Congress, APC, says it will not choose its flag bearers at next general elections through consensus. The ruling party at its post-convention NEC meeting in Abuja on Wednesday scheduled its presidential primary for the 30th of June. The meeting, which was attended by President Muhammadu Buhari, also fixed price tags for nomination forms. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
It is the first National Executive Council meeting of Nigeria's ruling party, just emerging from a delicate national convention. The party is racing to meet electoral timelines ahead of a crucial national election next year. Two critical decisions are on the front burner: determining the mode of its presidential primary and determining where the flag bearer should emerge from.
Now, our special convention for presidential primaries is bid to hold between Monday, 30th of May to Wednesday, 1st of June, 2022.
The party settles for indirect primary as against the much talked about consensus option. As for the issue of zoning of the presidential ticket, it remains obscure. Aspirants awaiting the commencement of the sales of the party's nomination forms now know what size of war chest they need. Those aspiring for the presidency, they have to cough out 100 million naira for expression of interest and nomination forms, while governorship aspirants will dole out 50 million naira.
Our presidential form has been set for expression of interest at 30 million naira, and the nomination form set at 70 million naira, bringing it to a total of 100 million naira.
Sell-off forms commences on Saturday. Meanwhile, NEC agrees to transfer its powers to the NWC, apparently to fast-track activities amidst a tight electoral schedule. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A group of protesters carrying placards with various inscriptions laid siege on the Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress on Wednesday, demanding the resignation of political appointees aspiring for elective offices. The group is worried that the sit-tight attitude of such political appointees may jeopardize the interests of the party. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman again reports.
As pressure continued to mount on political appointees at the federal and the state levels, aligned with Section 84, subsection 4 of the new Electoral Act 2022, a group, as you can see behind me, took their campaign to the National Secretariat of the APC here in Wuse 2 to press home their demand for political appointees, especially of President Muhammadu Buhari, to resign their appointments and face politics in line with this new legislation.
We are here today because this is a party issue, the APC, the ruling party. And we think that the laws made by the government, except you are announcing that you are bigger than the government. If the Electoral Act says that whoever that is any political appointee that is vying for any elected post should resign, and these person that we cancel from the people, why are they still holding tight in their offices? And this is our demand that they at least.
But are they resisting to resign? Some of them are very much aware of the provisions of the Electoral Act. Isn't this also, some would say you are more like putting the cart before the horse?
Yes. See, Nigerians, as a party, if this message is not sent before, nobody knows what will happen. So we now have to be in the front so that what happened in Zamfara State, another part of the country, do not affect our political party.
Because time is very relevant in laws. If you miscalculate on time, at the end the subsequence will be great. That's why it has to be done right now before time goes out of hand.
Okay, the group is very much concerned about, the need to adhere strictly to the laws so that the party would not be at the edge and all of the precedences or the actions taken by the aspirants or those eyeing, various political positions would not go in vain. This is in line with the Section 84, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act 2022. Now it remains to be seen if these gladiators, who some of them have already thrown their hat in the ring, would adhere to this call and resign their positions and face, squarely the political activities as we head towards 2023 elections. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The status of Ibrahim Bello Dauda seems to be growing within the ranks of the All Progressives Congress as a support group within the party supported his 2023 presidential aspirations on Wednesday. The group, on the platform of loyalists of the Buhari Support Group, BSO, gave the endorsement at a news conference in Abuja. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman again reports.
Convener of the group, Usman Issa Justice, says it's hinging the team's decision on the need to consolidate on the task of building a modern Nigeria.
In order to sustain, consolidate, and build a modern Nigeria of our dream, we, the loyal members of BSO and coalition of BSO support groups, have unanimously endorsed the candidature of Dr. Ibrahim Bello Dauda, who was the architect of the success recorded by BSO during the 2015 and 2019 general election.
Founding member of the parent Buhari support organization BSO that delivered the Buhari presidency in 2015, this group is confident that Ibrahim Bello Dauda is capable of consolidating on the achievements recorded so far.
It's just clear, Dr. Ibrahim Dauda is a builder. He does not give you money, but he gives you knowledge. He makes you grow as a young man. He has taught us a lot. Everyone you've seen seated on that seat has gone under the tutelage of Dr. Ibrahim Dauda.
I'm here today endorsing Dr. Ibrahim Dauda as someone that I know, a detribalized Nigerian, a digital person, a perfect. He is someone that has the unity of this country at heart.
Beyond his belief in one Nigeria and the desire for national development, the aspirant is seen as a patriot and an excellent administrator. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has confirmed the death of 2 officers in the crash involving one of its trainer aircraft in Kaduna State. NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, in a statement on Wednesday, identified the officers as Flight Lieutenant Abubakar Alkali and Flight Lieutenant Elijah Karatu. Fatima Ladan has an update.
The unfortunate trainer aircraft incident claimed the lives of 2 pilots, Flight Lieutenant Abubakar Ibrahim Al-Ali and Flight Lieutenant Elijah Haruna Karatu. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oludayo Amao, says the Nigerian Air Force will ensure that it thoroughly investigates the sad news. Airmen and airwomen of the 401 Flying Training School have also been assured of measures to avert similar occurrence in the future. Available record shows that 11 months ago, Chief of Army Staff Ibrahim Atahiru and 10 other senior military officers died in a NAV's Beechcraft 350 which crashed around the Kaduna International Airport. Statistics also shows that between August 29, 2015 to 2021, Nigeria suffered 11 military plane crashes with no fewer than 33 military officers perishing. These include the Air Force plane crash, which killed about 7 people on board here in Kaduna.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the move by the International Criminal Court ICC to reform its system as part of efforts to mend relations with the African countries is a welcome development and a crucial moment for the continent. Professor Osinbajo stated this on Tuesday when he received the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Karim Khan, who was on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa in Abuja. He said the proposal to reform the international justice system will reassure African countries that there is room for negotiations and that the ICC is not just out to witch hunt any individual or organization. The vice president stressed the need to create a system that builds relationships and credibility among member states, adding that such effort will create a sense that everyone can be treated fairly. On Monday, gunmen on Monday night abducted 5 people in Udo village in Akpo in Aguata local government area of Anambra State. The victims reportedly attended a wedding ceremony and were on their way back when the criminals got hold of them. A short message credited to the Commissioner for Special Duties in the state, Sly Ezio Kenwa, indicated that the kidnapped victims attended a traditional marriage ceremony hosted by the commissioner's cousin. It further indicated that the ugly incident happened at about 10 p.m. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Tochukwu Ikenganya, confirmed the sad development, but said that police had started making efforts to free the victims. Still on security, a newly elected councillor in Katsina State was shot dead when bandits went on rampage late Tuesday into the early hours of Wednesday. Alhaji Nasiru Magaji, the late councillor who was popularly known as Nasiru BS, was killed in Gozaki town of Kafur local government area of Katsina State. Abdullahi Yamadi has the update.
Bandits in their numbers went to Gozaki village of Kafur local government area of Katsina State on motorbikes on Tuesday night and attacked the resident of Alhaji Nasiru BS, a councillor who was recently elected to represent Gozaki ward of Kafur local government council. They said Gozaki, the bandits arrived at Gozaki village around 12:15 a.m., shooting in a thin air and threatened to kill anyone who attempted to show his face or resist the attack. Thereafter killing the councillor, the bandits abducted his 2 wives and his daughter, but released the wives and the daughter an hour later, saying that the aim was to kill the councillor, and they have succeeded in doing so. As such, the family should go back home. There was also no report of either animals rustling or abduction from the village or any nearby community. Therefore, their aim was to kill the councillor, and they succeeded in killing him. In a similar report, bandits attacked Dutse Reme Locust in Bakore local government area of Katsina State. The bandits stormed Dutse Reme community, shooting sporadically and killed 2 people in the process. Those killed Buhari Makin, a member of a vigilante group in Bakore local government area. The other one that was shot dead is Usman Ibrahim. One interesting thing is that people of the area mobilized and resisted the attack. One Abdusalam Ahmed, a resident of Dutse Reme Low Coast, told Trust Television that the residents came out with their guns and chased the bandits out of the community. The residents say the bandits were in the area to rustle animals.
Two leaders of the People's Democratic Party in Bassa local government area of Plateau State have been shot dead. They were killed when they accompanied Honorable Musa Aga, member representing Jos North, Bassa constituency in the Plateau House of Assembly, on a thank you tour of Bassa local government area. Spokesperson of the Plateau State Police Command, ASP Uba Gabriel, who confirmed the development, also said the attackers also shattered the vehicle of the lawmaker. He said the investigation was ongoing to unravel the perpetrators of the attack. The Iregwe ethnic group in Bassa local government has condemned the attack and called on security operatives to fish out perpetrators of the dastardly act. Also, the PDP in Plateau has condemned the attack, saying the people of the state are in danger. Troops of Operation Hadin Daji have foiled an attack on Sabon Gari area of Bakura town in Zamfara state on Tuesday, 19th April, by suspected terrorists. It also neutralized several of the terrorists, while others escaped into the forest with gunshot wounds after a fierce encounter with the troops. The terrorists, in large numbers armed with sophisticated weapons, launched an attack on the Sabongari community, started shooting sporadically to scare residents away, and succeeded in rustling large number of cattle. Troops deployed at Bakura local government area of the state responded promptly and engaged the terrorists in a fierce gun battle that lasted for about 2 hours. The troops' superior firepower forced the terrorists to abandon the rustled cattle and flee towards Kurundukudu into the forest with high degrees of gunshot wounds. 5 locals sustained injuries during the attack and are currently receiving treatment at the General Hospital, Bakura. You're watching News Hour. Coming up after the break, federal government, ASU urge to end face-off. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Daily, we bring you updates around politics.
People like you who are very young, you have no future. Anybody now who is 30 years, if what is happening to them continues, by the time you are 60, you will have no country.
The DPO of a particular unit does not have to wait until the commissioner tells him what to do within his jurisdiction.
We have political parties on the ground. Some of them have been there for years. But they themselves, in their own sober moments, they know that this country is not the one they're expecting to run.
Policy and governance.
Are you saying the NBS is lying?
I'm saying to you very clearly that the NBS has a serious problem with accurate data till today.
The 5th Assembly, as well as the 7th Assembly, their own attempt were unproductive.
Emergence of the Taliban has simply emboldened terror groups globally.
There is a lot of attention with regards to security developments in Nigeria.
On Daily Politics, we interrogate issues, holding the actors to account, bearing in mind all the sides.
We heard that in some places now, people have to go and pay tax, not to the local government, not to the state, but to criminals.
Nobody can come to your house and kidnap you without information.
If this country is bleeding, it is bleeding because we have failed to educate our young.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take another look at our top stories. We told you that National Executive Council of the All Progressives Congress, APC, says it will not choose its flag bearers at next general elections through consensus. And two leaders of the People's Democratic Party in Bassa local government area of Plateau State have been shot dead. On education, the National Examinations Council has rescheduled the 2022 National Common Entrance Examination, which is conducted for admission into federal unity colleges. The examination was earlier scheduled to hold from 23rd April 2022 to 7th May 2022. A statement by the head of Information and Public Relations Division, Aziz Sani, said the postponement was due to low registration of candidates. Sani said with the new dates expected to be announced in due time, the postponement will give more parents and guardians the opportunity to register their wards for the examination. In the meantime, the federal government says the association and the Association Staff Union of Universities have been urged to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike, which is bedeviling the standard of education in the country. Vice Chancellor of the Nasarawa State University, Professor Suleiman Bala, made the call in an interview with Trust Television.
Speaking on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the university, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Aruna Ayuba, further explained that the strike has not just affected the students, but also the lecturers. He commended the move being made by various stakeholders in ensuring that the ongoing strike is called off, adding that it will help students graduate at the stipulated time.
The leadership of ASU, they've continued to say there are issues that the federal government needs to address, the issue of funding, the issue of welfare of university staff, the issue of revitalization of the university, and these are some of the issues. So I'm not holding brief for ASU, but they've continued to say that agreement was reached, and these agreements have been breached over the years. And so they are saying, let's go back to that negotiating table to address the issues.
The institution's classrooms, library have all been under lock and key for some time now, making the school environment a ghost of itself. A cross-section of people spoke to our correspondent on the negative impact of the strike on the education sector.
The lack of activity in the entire economy, in the entire environment, it affects the students, it affects the society, it affects business, it affects everyone in the society.
We feel fine, we feel okay, but things are very, very rough because of the strike. Yes, there's no students in the school, even the fasting and everything. They also strike mostly. They affect us badly.
Students residing at the outskirts of the institution, while lamenting the negative effect of the strike, called on the government to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike.
They say when the two elephants are fighting, the ground suffers. And we, the students at the receiving end, we are actually suffering. We plead that the government to please listen to ASU, because ASU is a body that is actually doing their best to make sure they promote and strengthen the institution of Nigeria, so that they can be able to equate it according to UNESCO standard. So we're also pleading to ASU, if ASU on their own end should please shift ground, because we believe for us to have a unified entity, we want the ASU should shift ground, also government to shift ground.
I'm not happy also because it's been 2 months we've been at home now. So like the strike is supposed to end, they said a month plus. and it's over 2 months, and we are hearing like they are going to extend the strike till next month. We are not happy about it now. And my elder sister too is also schooling in this school. She's in her final year, and still the strike is ongoing. She's just at home learning handwork now that she's supposed to be in school, and they're supposed to be graduating this year.
This is Nasarawa State University, Kefi, where the school used to be a beehive of activities that students in the hostels, at the basketball court, anywhere you go, it's busy. But now, the school has remained a ghost of itself. And one will attribute this to an adage which says, what sauce for the goose? Sauce for the gander, and which the federal government will curtail the lasting solution to the strike. In Kefi, Kabiru Lawal, Trust TV News.
20 persons were alleged to have died of Lassa fever in Ibaji local government area of Kogi State since the outbreak of the disease in March this year. The Kogi State government confirmed the outbreak but said 3 persons are being treated currently at Irua in Edo State. The former chairman, Ibaji Local Government Council, and former member of Kogi State House of Assembly, David Ina Ogu, disclosed this to newsmen on Wednesday in Lokoja. He said in the first incident, about 4 persons fell ill and died, while others who manifested similar symptoms were taken to Irua in Edo State, where they tested positive to Lassa fever. He explained that 9 out of the first set of 22 people that went to Irua for treatment were confirmed to have the disease. According to the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, child spacing lowers incidence of death, disability, and other complications during pregnancy and childbirth. This awareness, as provided by Tugombe women by family planning service providers in the state, has led to huge turnout of women who want to access modern contraceptive methods of child spacing. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Gidan Magani is a historic healthcare center located at the heart of Gombe City. For decades, women have been accessing maternal healthcare services here. These women are here for family planning services. They were inspired and enlightened on the health benefit of the procedure by health workers. Amina Ishaku is a 43-year-old who subscribed to family planning since her early marriage. She has 5 children and still counting. Amina and other women speak on the benefits of child spacing to their health. She is saying we are well catered for. I and my children are very healthy. They are going to school now. I used to receive injection quarterly. No complications. I am healthy with my children.
I want some people that they didn't come and collect this family planning because it's very good for your health or for our health and our children.
Gombe State government has been providing free family planning services, and health workers say they now record up to 20 clients daily. But however, lament the inadvocacy of family planning kits.
The demand is too much, more especially this day. Before, family planning, they don't used to, but now, the wahala is too much. Whether you like it or not, you have to do this family planning. They are doing it not because of anything, because of the pains that we have. And this COVID-19, it brings us so many things that they just have to do this family planning.
The family planning coordinator, Gombe State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, urged the state government to release funds from the family planning budget to enhance service delivery.
You can have a client without having the consumables. It will cost you a lot of money, which a client cannot even be able to pay or to able to provide the needed things for her services. So in that case, the government have tried in giving allocation or budget line to family planning, which already has been written to them, and I believe my able governor will do something about it.
The contraceptive prevalence rate in Gombe State stood at 17%, but stakeholders are still working to push the figures up to meet the Family Planning 2030 agenda for sustainable development. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Kano State transport workers operating in Kano Line Motor Park are appealing to the state government to reconsider its decision to shut down the motor park, as it may render over 10,000 people jobless. Trust TV's Idris Jibrin reports that the state government has already shifted the transporters to a nearby building, pending the final closure of the park.
Situated along Zaria Road in Kano metropolis, Kano Line Motor Park is the most popular and perhaps one of the largest motor parks in Kano. There are well over 10,000 people benefiting from this park who are now at the risk of losing their jobs. There are over 5,000 of us working here at interval. Before now, we were criminals living in island. But when Konkoso established this park, we were relocated here, making a living. Now, if they close this park, do they want us to go back to the life of crime again? According to these people, the state government is yet to provide them with any other alternative as to where they should relocate to, apart from these nearby buildings, which forces many vehicles to park and load passengers from outside the main park. Actually, Ganduje need to look at these people to temper justice with mercy, because he knew that this park was given to us by his political brother, Rabiu Konkoso. Like me, I have been working here from my childhood. In fact, if it's a government work, I will be due for retirement in few years to come. For God's sake, if you send me away from here, where will I go? Meanwhile, the Kano State Transport Authority confirmed that the park is being relocated to another location and that the intention is not to render any person jobless, but to ensure that there is control in the number of motor parks across Kano State.
There is no responsible government that would like to render its citizens jobless. Any place that you see government is about to embark on a program, there must be measures that have taken prior to the taking of that activity. So definitely there is a place that government have carved out of that place for them to relocate.
For now, these transport operators have already been shifted from the main Kano Line Motor Park to a nearby building on a temporal basis before the final shutdown of the park. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The mother of the missing social media critic, Abubakar Idris, popularly known as Dadiyat, is dead. According to a family source, she died with the hope of reuniting with her son. The report.
The mother of the popular social media critic Abubakar Idris, popularly known as Dadiyata, who mysteriously disappeared in the early hours of August 2, 2019, has died at the age of 66. Dadiyata, who could have been 37 years this year, was allegedly taken from his Barnawa home in Kaduna in 2019. According to Usman Idris, a son to the deceased and younger brother to the social media critic, said their mother, Hajia Fatima, has been devastated over the abduction of her son, Dadiyata, almost 3 years ago, which is also a contributing factor to her falling health that led to her death.
Actually, we are short of words to express the condition she found herself. But initially, right from the word go, when the incidents happened, we tried as much as possible to calm her down, knowing fully that she is having the problem of, high blood pressure. So since that time, we tried to show her that if she allow the condition or the situation of things to, overtake her, what will happen is that we'll have double calamity. And with the help of God, she has maintained her stability up till the time she gave the ghost.
They said, till her last breath, she fought, begged, and sought for answers from concerned authorities on the whereabouts of her son.
Her only word is prayers. She has been in prayers with Abu Bakr. And I believe Abu Bakr has succeeded, because up till the last hours of her life, she is having a goodwill to Abu Bakr. And she has been praying fervently for his safe return and his safety wherever he is. It is unbearable, my brother. We cannot express it. But we believe as Muslims, whatever that befalls a servant is destined by Allah, and there is time for everything. He has decreed everything. So at the appointed time, either of the two will happen. Either Abu Bakr will come back to his family, or we will equally have the news of his death. Whichever that comes our way, we will take it in good faith, inshallah.
For the family left behind, they said the last 2 years have been pure torture, not being able to know what has happened to Abu Bakr, calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, come to their aid.
Our hope is every day we are still optimistic that Abu Bakr will come. My call to the authorities, in fact, we have made numerous calls, but it's like our calls are falling on deaf ears. But we will continue to call. They are the ones that Allah entrusts our safety on, and their adamant attitude that they have been showing is not helping matters.
Abu Bakr Idris Dadiata was a first social media critic, commanding large followership with huge ambition. He is dearly missed by his wife and 2 young daughters who can barely remember him, but kept asking the question, when is Abba coming home? Fatima Salaladan, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. More stories after the break.
My name is Tope Fashua. We'll be speaking economics, business, finance, sociology, and politics, all with an aim to contribute our best quota to the upliftment of our fatherland, Nigeria. So what do you think is wrong with our fiscal policy in Nigeria?
A lot of things are wrong. First, I think we have issues with our budgetary plan, which serves as the foundation of the fiscal policy. I mean, federal government's budgetary plan.
Is it true that decentralized banking seeks to eliminate central banking, and how?
Well, in theory, decentralized finance is actually designed to have the potential to eliminate central banking, but I would say decentralized finance is or does not currently have the potential to eliminate central banking.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back to Trust TV News Hour. Stakeholders and economists in the country on Wednesday put the current infrastructure deficit in Nigeria at about 3 trillion naira. According to them, the huge infrastructure gap is affecting key sectors of the economy. They listed critical sectors like power, road, education, and health as part of key areas where infrastructure deficit is more rampant. Addressing newsmen in Abuja ahead of a national dialogue on infrastructure expected to hold in the nation's capital next week, Dr. Onoa Nachi and managing partner DPH, who spoke on behalf of others, said stakeholders must intervene and come up with practical ways of fixing the deficit. He said the dialogue will focus on how to raise funds through the capital market to finance the widening infrastructure deficit in the country. Nigerians traded at least 316.9 billion naira in bitcoins in 2021, despite the Central Bank of Nigeria's restrictions on cryptocurrency transactions in the nation's banking system. Paxful, one of the biggest peer 2-to-2 platforms in the nation, revealed that over 6 million charts were carried out in the nation within the time under review. It noted that Nigeria is the platform's largest country based on trade volume of over $760 million. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Ray Youssef, BTC's adoption is growing with Africa leading the way, adding that Nigeria accounts for the biggest transactions in its platform. Last February, the central bank directed banks in the nation to desist from transacting in and with entities dealing in cryptocurrencies and close the accounts of persons or entities involved in cryptocurrency transactions. The National Export Promotion Council, NEPC, says it is committed to growing the country's non-oil export to ensure that the nation's economy is not negatively affected by falling oil. The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Ezra Yakusak, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja as part of activities for the forthcoming National Conference on Non-Oil Exports scheduled to hold on the 26th and 27th of April 2022. Chamun Dabing has more.
Nigeria has been known to rely heavily on crude oil for its exports. However, amidst dwindling returns from crude oil exports, which have been further destabilized by uncertainties facing global crude oil prices, the National Export Promotion Council, NEPC, says it has seen the need to emphasize revenue generation from non-oil exports.
And it is being put to bring up all stakeholders in the non-oil ecosystem to discuss and chart a way forward, provide a roadmap for non-oil export. It is expected that, by the way, the Vice President will be there, is the special guest of honor, and he will deliver the keynote address and also declare the conference open.
One of the challenges facing some of the country's products in the exporting sector has been that of rejection by foreign counterparts. Dr. Yakusak, who threw more light on this, assured of addressing the challenge through deliberate efforts.
Yeah, we've had our products being rejected, and the question we ask ourselves, why are they rejected? They are rejected because the mandatory or the voluntary certification that or mandatory certification that they are supposed to obtain, they don't have it. And some of them are like the HACCP, that's Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point. Some of them are fair trade, halal, kosher, and other certifications. Nigerians are coming up with different products you can never imagine. For example, you never know that the bean cake called kuli kuli, I mean, it's an exportable product. But hey, we have Nigerians now that have packaged that kuli kuli, and it's so. I mean, if you see the packaging, because see, one thing with products is about packaging. The packaging is very, very key. You could have a fine product, and if the packaging is bad, the product may not likely sell. So, with what we've seen or what we are seeing from NEPC and the way Nigerians have initiated or changed their packaging mode, I'm sure the sky is the limit for our products.
The forthcoming event is to serve as a platform for stakeholders in the non-oil export sector to share ideas and find solutions to the emerging issues affecting the sector. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We take another short break now. Trust News Hour returns shortly.
Plastic waste is a major environmental challenge in Nigeria.
This has been the problem for most environmentalists, and not only in Nigeria but all over the world.
Nigeria has recorded about 5,000 incidents of oil spill. All these incidents, were they discovered by your agency?
We detect some. The host communities detect quite a lot. The oil companies themselves, through their surveillance agents, discover some. Because we have to put a lot of efforts on our part to make sure that we synchronize activities with that of the oil companies, working towards preventing a spill.
Welcome back. Still ahead. A total of 13 out of the 19 Nigerians detained in various camps in Poland have been released. The Nigerians were released with the intervention of the Nigeria ambassador to Poland, Major General Christian Ugu, retired. A statement signed by the head of media, public relations and protocols unit NIDCOM, Abuja, Abdurrahman Balogun, said among the 6 remaining in the detention camps, one of them claimed that he is a Cameroonian because the mother is from Cameroon, while the remaining 5 applied for international asylum in Poland, including Igwe Ikechukwu Christian, who was interviewed by some foreign media. It is said that due to their seeking of asylum, they cannot be released until the government of Poland takes a decision on their applications. He assured Nigerians that the mission will continue to do its best to ensure that the interest of Nigerians is taken care of at all times. Speaking on the development, the chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, commended the successful intervention of the Nigerian mission in Poland and called on Nigerians to be law-abiding and good ambassadors of the country wherever they find themselves. In the foreign scene, a gas explosion at a coal mine in southern Poland on Wednesday killed 4, left 21 injured and 7 missing. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki expressed his condolences and said he would travel to the area. In the meantime, authorities say rescuers are still looking for 7 other people. A second explosion occurred while rescue workers were assisting the victims of the first blast. There were 42 miners in the area where the explosion happened, and many of them suffered burns. Poland, which still relies on coal for the majority of its power, has seen several other mining accidents in recent years. Politicians in Finland are due to start debating if the country should seek membership in the NATO military alliance after Russia's invasion of Ukraine prompted a spike in political and public support for joining the transatlantic bloc. The parliament session on Wednesday comes despite warnings by Russia of a nuclear buildup in the Baltics should Finland and neighboring Sweden join NATO. Finland's 200 members of parliament have received a government-commissioned white paper that assessed the implications of NATO membership alongside other security options, such as increased bilateral defense agreements. In the meantime, Sweden is also discussing whether or not to submit a membership bid following Russia's February 24 invasion. A poll on Wednesday showed that 57% of Swedes now favored NATO membership, up from 51% in March. Russia has given Ukrainian fighters still holding out in Mariupol a fresh ultimatum to surrender on Wednesday as it pushed for a decisive victory in its new eastern offensive, while Western governments pledged more help, military help, to Kyiv. Thousands of Russian troops backed by artillery and rocket barrages are advancing Donbas. This comes as European Council President Charles Michel makes an unexpected visit to Kyiv on Wednesday, following a trip to the Ukrainian capital by the head of the EU's executive earlier this month to show support for the nation fighting a Russian invasion. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk said it has reached a preliminary agreement with Russia on establishing a humanitarian corridor to evacuate women, children, and the elderly from the besieged city of Mariupol on Wednesday. Following the draws of 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, some Nigerians have shown support for Super Eagles to qualify from Group A. Trust TV Adeniyi Ajisafe has more.
Despite the lackluster performances of Super Eagles of Nigeria in recent times, some Nigerians have expressed optimism that the team will qualify for Africa Cup of Nations 2023. Nigeria is drawn in Group A with Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Sao Tome or Mauritius, while hoping that Eagles will have a smooth sail in the group stages. Nigerians, however, advise the team to put in their best as there are no minnows in football anymore.
I do believe in second chances, and I believe that things happen, right? Like no matter how much or how well you train, some things can just happen and then you don't get to win. Yeah, so I think that being optimistic is something that each and every one of us should, so I'd like to be on the positive side. So I believe Nigeria can win.
Yes, of course, Nigeria can qualify because this is our country. We have to support them. Super Eagles must qualify because what they played the last time, maybe it's the World Cup qualifier. They tried their best. It's just that the game does not fit for them. But by this time around, we pray to God that the game will fit for them. You know, football is a game of luck. There's no sabi there. It's a game of luck. So by the grace of God, we believe this time around they are going to come up with something better for us.
To me, it's an easy draw because I don't think those other team in the group can match up with the Eagles. Yes. So it will be like a very easy ride for us.
In more sports news, Australia and the United States will take each other on in a duel in the pool event in August, bringing back one of the sport's most famous contests after a hiatus of 15 years. The Sydney Gala could feature a reprise of the 400 meters freestyle rivalry between Ariane Titmus and Kati Ledecky. The last duel in the pool between the two countries was staged in 2007. That was the third time that the two countries had gone up against each other after their rivalry was intensified by the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, where Australia handed the United States their first defeat in the 4x100 meters men's freestyle relay. The revived version of the event will take place over 3 days from 19th August and feature para swimmers and an open water race on Bondi Beach. Before we go, here is a kicker. The China Bamboo Garden is one of the highlights of the World Horticultural Exhibition held in Almere, the Netherlands. Let's take a look at why it is attractive and what is the concept behind it.
We're now in Almere, Netherlands. On April 14th, the International Horticulture Exhibition Floriade opened here. It is the first A1 International Horticulture Exhibition held since the outbreak of COVID-19. This is the China Bamboo Garden, the China's pavilion at the Floriade. Covering an area of 4,200 square meters, it presents Chinese garden with flowers and bamboo, demonstrating the aspirations of the Chinese people for better lives and to present the concept of a greener environment.
那么整个展园呢，运用中国新型的竹制工程材料和工艺，融入了源远流长的中国花文化和竹文化，展现中国现代花卉园艺的一个最新成果，同时呢，也展现生态文明建设的成就。我们的主展厅，那么所有的这个建设材料都是选择绿色环保的竹木材料。
It's very nice to see that China has done its utmost to show how they look at the theme of the exhibition, knowing growing green cities with a beautiful, nice garden, nice, quiet Chinese garden. As to trade and to commerce, we have a very good relationship with China. And I hope that the country continues to develop in that way, so that more and more connections are between, I would say, Europe and China too.
The Floriade is held once every 10 years since its first edition was held in 1960 in Rotterdam. Within the theme Growing Green Cities, visitors can enjoy the scents and colors of flowers, plants, vegetables and fruits at this year's Floriade, as well as the latest green innovations presented by more than 400 international participants.
With that report, we have come to the end of NewsHour on Trust TV. You can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ayinde Shuaga, thanking you for listening.